Welcome to a tutorial about how to import a background image for tracing into Modumate. Here I have a blank project, such as one you may have created if you clicked New Project or if you just made an account and opened your free project. One of the tools we have in the Modumate menu is the import of background images found here under this green M icon. When you click this tool, you will be given a chance to open any images across your computer that ideally you've set up your floor plan to take the form of images. You can use tools like AutoCAD or Adobe Acrobat and either export an image at a scale from the file or just snip your screen, assuming you can read the content of the screen, and use that as an image-based background. It is not a vector snappable background, but it is an image. So when I click on, for example, floor 1 here, I am put into a tool that asks me to pick a location in the world for the image to live. I'll pick here. And then a direction for the image to look. I'll pick upward. When I click, it swings my camera to face this image top down. And the next step of the process is to choose a distance that I know in the design. For example, here in this floor plan, 54'4" goes from this reference line or this witness line to the other witness line. As I draw this line, I'm going to want it to refer to the perfect world north-south direction, so I will hold Shift, which is going to constrain the line I draw to the north-south direction. When I click, I have now pinned down that line, and we will see that the dimension string along that line asks me to type a length. Well, we see in the image 54'4", so 54'4", 54'4" is what I will type, and when I press enter, it technically doesn't look like anything happened, but the image actually changed its scale. It figured out what the right scale is for this image to make that distance become 54'4". And in this case, the image must have been blown up by 36%. So this image is now selected and we can see its properties. If at any point, I'm now pressing escape to leave the tool and return to orbiting as if I'm going to move on to my next steps. But if at any point I want to rescale this image, I could just click the scale image button. And once again, my camera snaps to the top-down view. And let's say that I had misclicked before, or I somehow typed wrong, I wanted to reestablish the scale. I will once again come to this dimension and I will hold Shift and I will click in here and type 54'4", enter. And now when I use the line tool, hotkey LI, and trace over the same distance, let's go from, for example here, let's go 54'4" north. Where am I? Well, look at that. I am smack dab on the other reference line. My building is now set up and ready to be traced and scaled. As you can tell from our other tutorials about how to draw a massing graph, the massing graph is really meant to use one line to describe every assembly, and that's part of why we end up encouraging users to draw off of raster backgrounds, because having snaps here and potentially other places in the model too, like these locations, is really more distracting and risky to cause non-aligned edges. It's better to just draw a single line through all this content and then draw in the windows with your massing tools later. Hosting a single window to get all this detail back is something you'll do in the hosting step of the modeling process. Anyway, that is the process for bringing in a background scaled image. And just for completeness' sake, I will bring in the image. I'm going to bring in a second story image that may not have a scale quite as well drawn, because we have encountered some users who are drawing multiple stories and the scale is on the first floor but not always on the second floor. So here I'm going to reuse the same tool, import background image. I'm going to choose floor 2 this time, and I will turn my camera so I can click here and then upward as the direction for it to face. Now here we can see that this length, there are no well-known lengths in this model. I could look at the length of these rooms, like 12'8", 11 foot by 12'8". This looks a little longer than that aspect ratio, but if I typed from here to here, if I clicked here, held Shift and clicked here, and then typed 12'8", technically this model has now been scaled to that effect. But what I think I wanted to do is, because I know about the shapes of these floors, I can see that really this plane here through to this shape and this shape are the same as these. That's the perimeter of the wall will be shared for these locations. So what I want to do is measure a reference length in the plan that matches what I know about the next image. So I just drew a line that I think I will want this long edge to match. I'm now going to select one of its endpoints, 43 foot 2.5. Okay, is that quite a precise number? Might make math a little bit harder here, but looks like it's quite accurate. So let's trust it. 43 foot 2.5. Okay. I'm now going to click Scale Image over on this image. I will zoom in. I will click at this corner. I will zoom in on the opposite side. I will hold Shift. It looks like there's a bit of a drawing convention issue between these files, but I will click on what looks like the matching location. I've now laid out that line. It's asking me to type a length, 43 foot 2.5. 43 feet 2.5, quote, enter. Did I remember that number correctly? Yes, I did. It should be the case now that if I draw, in fact, I'm going to copy this line from one plan to the other. I'm going to snap here, press the Control key as I use the Move tool, and when I place it over here, we should see that the opposite point is perfectly scaled. Great. So these two floors are now the same size and ready to be overlaid in a way that, for example, if I use the Move tool in a vertical way, we can start to draw multiple stories of aligned content and trace the first floor, then trace the second floor. I will link in the description below the video for drawing multiple stories of content and how to separate the floors for easy working. But a design like this with multiple stories is a perfect use case for that kind of workflow. So hopefully if you have background images coming from a different tool, or if you have any existing models in tools like SketchUp or Revit or Rhinoceros or AutoCAD or anything else, you can create views of the models in your modeling space, snip your screen, import it to Modumate, and begin drawing here. If you have any documents like floor plans from the city or your own drawing pipeline, you can turn them into images and bring them in here, and you'll be scaled and ready to go in just a matter of a few clicks. Thanks for watching.